Hello and welcome to the Chrissie Mayr podcast. We are on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And if you're listening to us right now on iTunes, please go and leave a 5-star review. Here's a really great review from EMB, spelled phonetically. Review says, really good, a curious mind and a funny, talented interviewer with an honest perspective. Oh, thanks, MEB. EMB. That's complicated to read. Quick shout out to our sponsors, Cushy Dreams, guys. You know them, you love them. If you're looking to relax in 2021, which I think we all are, if you're a big weed smoker, I suggest smoking your CBD. It's kind of the same feeling. It, like, especially these products, looks, smells, feels just like high quality marijuana, but you're not going to go out to lunch. You're not going to get like so high. If you're a person who's sensitive to weed, you're not going to get like so high. You won't be able to get anything done. And that's what I really love about Cushy Dream products. They specialize in premium, private reserve, ultra high quality pre-rolls, and they also sell it in these like kind of vacuum sealed tins, the bud, if you're a person who likes to smoke out of a bowl or something. But I really like the joints because I feel like a cool girl when I smoke them. And then within like 5 minutes or so, my mind, my body have calmed down. And it kind of just helps me get through the day. They have so many different indica sativa blends like Dream, Create, Energy, Hustle, Relax, Peace. It's just like they're super obsessed with quality, and you can go onto their website, cushydreams.com, and check out all the lab results for all their tests to ensure compliance and purity. It's grown here in the USA, legal in all 50 states, delivers straight to your door. These guys are really wonderful. Go to cushydreams.com right now. Use the promo code CMP. You're going to get 20% off your entire order plus free shipping, guys. Smoke your CBD and relax a little, man. Just relax. Speaking of relaxing, I'm going to be doing comedy in a city near you guys. May 20th, I'll be at Tiff's in Morris Plains, New Jersey. That's the Dojo East with Comedians of the Compound. Then I'm heading to Florida with my buddy Tim Young. We'll be at the Boca Black Box April 30th, then the Lake Park Black Box in Palm Beach, Florida, May 1st, May 2nd, Side Splitters in Tampa, Oklahoma City, May 9th. Before that, Appleton, Wisconsin, May 7th and 8th. Comedians of the Compound in Austin, Texas, May 14th and 15th. Then I'll be at Zany's in Nashville, May 18th, May 19th, Stand Up Live in Huntsville, Alabama. Then Hilarities in Cleveland, Thursday, June 3rd, for my Ohio peeps. I want to just do a quick shout out for our other sponsor, which is Lucy. Lucy, I'm a big fan of Lucy. I actually have tried all of these gum. I have tried all these gum flavors, and they're freaking delicious. Lucy Nicotine is a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck. These products were researched and developed for 3 years to be made for people, not patients. Lucy has created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that comes in wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. They also have a lozenge and a cherry ice flavor. Each and every flavor tastes great, convenient, discreet. Throw it in your pocket, go to the gym, get on a flight. It goes with you. It's 2021, guys. Get rid of your cigarettes, unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get you some nicotine gum. This is the real deal. A subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each and every month. It's so simple. You don't have to leave your house because Lucy has delivery down. And for all my CMP listeners, go to lucy.co and use the promo code CMP. You'll get 20% off all products plus free shipping. And I have to give this disclaimer. Warning, this product does contain nicotine derived from tobacco, and nicotine is an addictive chemical. Lucy.co, use that promo code CMP. You know what else is addictive? Saving money and feeling good. Speaking of feeling good, I'm so excited to have this guy on the pod today. Oh, also, yeah, quick shout out to my Brown Liquors Matter shirt. I got this from doing Chad Prather's show a couple weeks ago in Texas. And now they've opened Texas. So this is really the only day I can wear this shirt before it gets old. I'm so excited to have this guy on the podcast today. Been a fan of his for a really long time. He is the host of a wildly popular YouTube channel with over 186K subs. He is a musician, a gamer, a skateboarder, a former model. Yes, Adam Crigler. Welcome him to the show.
Thank you. Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing?
I have to talk about this first and foremost.
Oh gosh, what?
In 2002, you became an Abercrombie model, which
Really?
I
You're
right?
going way back.
Is that the right year?
Maybe it was. Yeah, 2002. You know, I have
It's
the
a
book.
huge deal.
I
Please get
actually,
the book.
do you
Please
want me
get
to
the
grab
book.
the
Please.
actual
Yes.
Abercrombie book that I was in?
Yes. I think Adam and I are the same age, if not pretty similar. But I know growing up.
2003.
Oh my God. Look at this.
Issue.
Please turn to your page. I mean, you're probably in there multiple times, right?
I, in fact, am on the cover.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my butt.
God!
That's actually Malin Ackerman and Jamie Dornan and me. Do you know who those people are?
I don't know who they are.
So that's she was in Watchmen. She was in Heartbreak Kid.
Wait, hold it up to the camera.
She's been in a few different movies.
And you have short hair? Are you the one sitting on the lap? Or you're the one sitting?
Well, you can't. I'm not sitting on anyone's lap. I'm in the driver's seat.
Oh, you're in a car. Oh,
yeah, this thing is like a hand painted Beetle, like a Volkswagen Bug. Let's see. Man,
these catalogs, Adam.
I can't show you these pictures.
Yes, you can. You can.
No,
and
I can't.
should.
They're nude.
Totally
naked. Can you show nudity?
Did you show your penis? Yes. I mean, like.
No, I don't. No, you don't. You don't see my hoo ha. But yeah, you see. Here's me actually on the beach with Malin. I'm pulling off her panties.
Oh my God!
Biting on them. I was told to do this. And she was like, "Yeah, go ahead, do it." So it was consensual. All right. In this day and age, I feel like I have to say that.
Oh, that's so sad, right?
Yeah, but this is mostly
catalogs were everything. I don't know what year you graduated high school. I graduated high school in 2001, and it was like the height. It was everything, like all throughout. Yeah, Abercrombie all throughout high school, even in college too. I remember just scrimping and saving so that I could buy a hideous Abercrombie sweater. I remember I saved up money for my lifeguarding job all summer. I bought, which was at the time maybe a $60 Abercrombie sweater, which was a lot. It was a lot to spend on one item. And I remember I bought it and I put it on. It was one of those thick weave. It was beige. Maybe I think it had a green stripe going across it, and I was
the back half of this is actually all the clothes.
Ooh, cargo pants.
Look, here's a nice cashmere vest.
Oh my God! How much were these clothes at the time? They're probably.
I don't know, man. It was $100 for the jeans that came with custom holes.
Oh, it was everything. I finally bought this sweater, and my mom was like, "You look like a fullback in that sweater." It was the biggest diss, and I was like, "Oh no!"
So here you go. This is this thing has been is falling apart, but here's Malin showing us me and Jamie the goods.
Was she nude at that? Was she nude under there, or just wearing a bra or a shirt?
I'm pretty sure she had a t-shirt. I think she was just pretending. But then here's us stripping down.
Wow.
And then getting into the van or into the back of this.
The sexual tension must have been high on these shoots.
You know what? We were really good friends, actually, me, Malin, and Jamie, because we were put together, and it was we were always doing the shoots together. It was us three. That was the story. Everyone had kind of their own thing going on. There was 30 models on this thing. And when we first got there, the first day there was 40. And then the next day there was 32. And then the next day there was 24. So it dwindled. And I was there for 9 days. Me and these two were, I mean. So
you guys were the upper level. It sounds like you guys were the highest quality, hottest of the hot models.
Actually, that was my first photo shoot ever.
Really? How would they guide you into these pictures? Would they just be just be yourself, be a horny teenager, or however old you were at the time?
You don't see the fact that there's 10 other people on the other side of the camera. You got the makeup person, the hair person, the lighting guy, the photographer, and then the Abercrombie people that are making sure that the clothes are properly
That the
looking
clothes
good.
are somewhere in the shot. That they're just
like,
somewhere in
like
there.
look at this. This is the cover. Like, what piece
Where
of
are the clothes?
She's got underwear on. And that's the extent of it. There is.
These catalogs were
That's it.
everything. You would
That
just get one. It was like my first spank bank, really.
this was the second to last one they did, actually. They did
Wow.
one more, and then there was like controversy. They were like, "Why are you doing this? There's no clothes in them. It's just naked people." And they were like, "Well, you're right."
Was the controversy over the nudity or like lack of diversity?
I think it was the nudity. I don't think the lack of diversity came up. I don't, let me look at this. I mean, I don't know. Let me kind of peruse through here. It's just kind of like, yeah, bunch of white folks, naked white models.
Wow.
Such a lack of diversity. Hey, check
How
out
dare
this.
they?
This actually I thought was kind of cool. I was a bird. We did a
Oh
costume
my
party.
God. Oh my God. This is
And I was a bird. And yeah.
wow. Did you get a lot of free clothes? How old were you at the time of this catalog shoot?
19. I was 19.
Wow. Did you get a lot of free stuff?
I got some free stuff, but I only liked the cargo pants. I didn't really wear button down shirts or collared shirts. That wasn't really me. So I wore the pants. I asked for a couple pairs of pants. So
do you think you get basically as much free clothes as you asked for, or were you kind of like,
I didn't ask for anything, actually. I always found that to be kind of like, I saw others asking for stuff, and it felt a little just
too grabby.
Yeah, just like you're already getting paid. It was good money.
Was it? How much did you get paid?
I think it was like a couple grand a day or something. And it's like for
oh my God, that's
a
great.
19-year-old. I mean, I bought my first car because of it. Man, I took my friends out. Like, I don't know. I didn't know what to do with money when I was 19. Did
it like explode your ego? Did you, and if not you, did you notice a big ego on your fellow models?
Oh my gosh. So the same way that I didn't like to ask for things, I saw that in others. There was a couple people, actually Jamie and Malin, very cool people. Shout out to both of them. They're now freaking huge movie star. Jamie was in 50 Shades of Grey. He was like the guy in that movie. And then Malin.
Christian, you mean?
I don't.
Christian Grey?
I haven't seen it. Is it? Have you seen the movie?
Of course, I've seen it. Yes.
Well. You're like,
of course.
Yes, of course I've seen it. Well,
it's logged.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's Jamie Dornan. That's this guy who.
Oh my God! I've finally put it together. Yeah. Jesus Christ!
Yeah. So now he's kind of huge and she's kind of huge, which is cool.
And you're huge. Yeah.
Well, thank you. But yeah, they're very cool. But I did see people who were full of themselves, and it was just kind of like, it was such a turnoff. And then I was around models for a long time. Like, that was my main job for 10 years. Living in New York, I traveled around to Europe, and I was around people that had this air of, I'm cooler than you, I'm better than you. And I always was just like, oh gosh, that's gross. I need to wash myself after that. And
good for you for not.
I always did my own thing. Yeah.
What do you attribute to your staying grounded through that? Because I mean, that's like peak. Anybody that age, it was that you'd be on top of the world. That was just like the thing to get. Like, even if like I had a friend who, like, I think my current boyfriend was like asked to work at maybe he did work at an Abercrombie store, and I'm like, wow, because I just did not hit my stride looks wise until, who knows, maybe I haven't, maybe I'm still waiting to hit it. But like,
you're doing good. You're doing good.
If you were like, it was just, oh my God, it was just everything.
Let me just say, if I had an Abercrombie store, I would love for you to work there.
Oh my God, thank you. You're like in the back, in storage. You can fold.
I know a little something about Abercrombie and Fitch, all right? Let me just say.
You can recycle the boxes. That's what you can do.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
No, you're going to be working in the back. But
but I'll still be there. Oh, it was so great. Oh, man.
To answer that question, though, I had good friends. I had good friends that some were models, some weren't models, and some people actually know him. Ferk, this is one of my good buddies who actually moved to New York when I was younger, and he's always been very honest. And a lot of my friends, we've just I'm some of my friends call me an honest. Can I swear? I don't know.
Yes,
All
swear
right,
away.
an honest asshole, and
Mhm.
I mean that's not really. Is it swearing? Whatever.
No.
And it's because I'm brutally honest, and I appreciate honesty over anything. Like, tell me the truth. Tell me exactly what you're feeling. Like, don't sweep anything under the carpet. Let's talk about everything. And I've people have called my friends call me out on my shit, and I call them out on their shit, and that's the way I like it. So I have a good core group of friends throughout the years that have helped me um, check my ego whenever, because everyone has an ego. It's
Of
about
course.
understanding it and confronting it and realizing it when it is kind of rearing its ugly head. So yeah.
Where were you scouted from? Where did they find you?
Oh, modeling. Um,
Yeah.
so my first girlfriend ever, her mom worked for a model search company, and I didn't want to do it. I was like, no, I'm good. Like, please, no. This is not what I want to do. Like, models are. I mean, everyone has that stereotypical model, and it's like, stupid. Only care about their looks, full of ego. They think they're cool, and it's like, oh my gosh, like stop. You're not. And then I fell in love with her, and I was like, all right, I'll do it, whatever. And then, of course, seriously, I think it was a week later after I did this
You were
model suit.
naked in a pickup
I
truck.
was,
Yeah,
I was
with
on
Christian Grey.
now, yeah, basically, yeah, basically,
That's cool. That's really cool.
yeah,
I think I first heard of you. This was kind of like in the news. It was definitely a thing that a lot of people were talking about. You discovered last year, right before the election, you were like, okay, I figured I was registered to vote in Maryland. You checked, you weren't.
yeah.
You had to fly to Arizona like that day or the
I
day
did
before
day before the
just
second.
to
Yeah.
vote. Um,
I wasn't gonna not vote. I'm so critical about the government. I'm so that's it. I critique them, and for me to not participate, I would feel like a hypocrite. Like, who am I to say anything if I'm not even gonna participate in the base part of being an American citizen is voting and being part of that conversation. So since I was like, there's no way I'm not voting. Like, I have to do it.
was it
So
the day before that you realized this?
the day before, well, because I had registered to vote right when we moved to Maryland, which was about a month, maybe a month and a week before the election. So I was like, this is iffy. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it. And everyone I spoke to was like, no, it should be fine. And I have actually since gotten my Maryland voting card, so I can now vote here in Maryland. And the FBI actually went to my house in Arizona, and
What?
I think it was
Why?
because they wanted to check that I actually had a residence in Arizona, because people started hitting me up on like my different social medias saying, you messed up, man. We called the FBI on you. Like, you went on the news and said that you're participating in voter fraud. And it's like, little did they know
What?
that Arizona has been my residence for 12 years because I traveled for modeling. So
Yeah.
that's been my core address. And I never actually moved in with Tim. I mean, technically, I was out there for the Timcast IRL show, and then here for my show, but I
Out in
never
DC, you
actually.
mean?
Yeah, well, when
Yeah.
he was in Jersey and
Oh.
now in Maryland, so I never actually, because I didn't know how long I was going to last. It was more just for work. So my residence stayed Arizona, and then that trip, I decided to fully move here. So I was actually packing my stuff in a moving truck when the FBI showed up.
Oh,
And
man.
they were like, I was standing in the moving truck, like moving stuff. And I was like, hello. And they were asking me about some gun. Like I said I was being held up at a gun store. Like, so I didn't do a show one time because I was waiting for my background check.
Mhm.
Because I did purchase a firearm.
Or were you at this gun show and then
Oh,
cue
dang,
your
girl.
no, I know. I was trying to pimp you into you doing that for the FBI. You'd be like,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah. No.
guys, you mean this gun show?"
Well, they were claiming that they thought that I was going to go to the Stop the Steal rally in
Mhm.
Phoenix. And I was like, no, I have zero interest in going up there. Me being violent, like, no, not at all. Like, I'm very much against violence. I talk about it all the time on my show. So And
Wow.
and then they started asking these questions about, my residence, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm moving. I answer these questions. And as soon as I answer those questions, they didn't even ask me if I owned a gun or if I bought the gun. They didn't ask me anything about the gun. They were just kind of like poking at if I lived there or not,
Hmm.
which I did. I was my residence for a long time. And as soon as I said that, they were like, all right, well, this case is closed. And I was like, what is this? And I'm like, all right, they were clearly
Sent
wanting to
there.
find out if it was, because if I didn't actually live in Arizona, it would have been voter fraud, and that's a felony. So traveling state lines to like go vote somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I did. It was 1,900 miles, and it was worth it. So even though
Wow.
Trump didn't win, it was I did vote for Trump. I'm open about it. I don't hold it back. We shouldn't
No,
have to hold it
we
back.
shouldn't at all. And I held it back at first, and then I was like, no, I have to practice what I preach. And then I did get a ton of shit, and then people like, I mean, a lot of people unfriended me like just over the years, but it's all good. It's like it's all part of like clearing out the people that are not really going to be part of your journey
Yep.
anyway. Um, so you went from being a person who on your show always just talking about like light topics like aliens and gaming and skateboarding and like music, movies, video games and such. So how did you get to talking about more serious issues? How did you sort of become red pilled? Like what sort of woke you up?
Well, that was definitely being on the Timcast IRL show. He actually asked me to be on the show and said the only rule is we're not allowed to say the word Democrat or Republican. And
Oh, what?
I was like, nice. Like
Mhm.
that's great for me because I want to do pop culture. I want to talk about aliens. I want to talk about movies and, whatever, that kind of stuff. It's fun, skating. And we started the show, boom, COVID hit, and it just took over everything. And I think he also kind of can't help but fall into this talk about what's popping during the day. Because he's got his flow, he's got his YouTube, he knows YouTube, he's been doing it for 10 years. So um, by falling into that, it just kind of led to talking about what's most, I want to say, clickable, I guess, really is what it was, which was COVID, politics, Trump, all
It's
this
what
stuff.
people
So,
are searching. Yeah.
yep, exactly. So we ended up having lots of critical conversations, really deep talks about what was going on. And I found myself lacking in knowledge of politics. Like I wasn't paying attention. So I started researching, I started looking into things, I started watching Trump's actual press conferences, seeing how the news spun his words. And I'm like, he didn't say that. Like that's not, that's you took the context out. And that happened so much. It got so frustrating that I started looking into him a little more, and then I ended up doing a deep dive on Donald Trump. I followed all the way back to his grandfather, the history of the Trumps coming in, starting the first Trump hotel back in, like, I think it was 1890 or 1889. I don't remember exactly, but it was a while back. Yeah, but there it is. So the deep dive on Donald Trump.
Yes, right
So
here.
so that one actually, I learned a lot about him, and I gained a lot of respect for the man. And then I was like, man, like he really has proven, if you look at his history of the things he's done, that he's not a misogynist, he's not a racist, he's the like he people have been trying to pit the establishment, I should say,
Yep.
doesn't like him.
No,
Even
he's a
even when
threat.
he's a threat, and because he's new money. People don't think about it. The fact that he's new money, establishment doesn't like him. The old money folks, like they hated the fact that he came into New York and built a building.
Mhm.
They wanted to stop him from doing that, and he did it anyway. And it was like, boss, that's boss moves.
Yeah, he
But
always
he
had
did
such
it anyway.
a winner's mentality, like such a boss mentality, and like all this old money, all this legacy media, they're all in
Yep.
bed. They're all so deeply rooted and tied up with each other. So it's like, oh, this new guy comes out, and even though everyone knew who he was, people were even probably friends with him, like on the New York, real estate scene or whatever, just would see him around at social events. It's that nobody believed he could actually win, especially considering in 2016, like how many little details were kind of tipped into Hillary's favor,
Yeah.
and the fact that he still won, like really kind of caused a lot of meltdowns, I think. How did you get involved? Like, how did you get to working with Tim? Did he find you? Did you find him?
Tim and I met 7 years ago, or 7 or 8 years ago. Man, maybe it was 8 years ago now. I don't know. We met a long time ago. We met actually in a game shop. Randomly. We both play Magic the Gathering. It's a card game. And
Oh, I know.
oh, you do?
Oh, I'm familiar. I have nerd friends.
Okay. So we both play Magic, and he was in a Magic store, and I walked in, and it was a D&D night, Dungeons and Dragons. And so I was popped in, and I walked up to the counter, and he was actually standing at the counter, and he must have been talking to them. And I was like, "Hey, do you have any Magic events going on? Like, what's up?" And they're like, "Oh, it's D&D night." And I'm like, "Oh, that's a bummer." And then he goes, "Oh, you play Magic?" And I look over, I'm like, "Yeah, what up?" And then we started talking Magic, and he ended up coming over to my spot, and we played some games with my friends.
Aw.
And then we became friends. Yeah, so we've known each other, and we actually have been planning to do a show together for like 4 5 years. I actually moved to Miami because he was working for a place called Fusion, and we
Mhm.
actually met with the CEO. We met with a couple different producers that we were going to do the show for them, and it never ended up going through. And honestly, I still want to do a show with him. I think me and Tim, just us doing a show, would be awesome. And I feel like people miss us together. I miss us
Yeah.
together. We have a really good back and forth. And the Timcast, well, the falling out, everyone wants to know what happened. I don't talk about it, but um,
Why did
it's
everybody want to know?
because no one knows. Because I
You
didn't get
haven't
a
talked
send
about
off.
it anywhere?
No. I
Oh,
mean, if you pay attention and watch my show
you
and
can put
watch
it
their
together.
show and follow me everywhere, and if you and follow all of everybody, and you've paid attention since what happened, you could probably piece it all together. But I haven't painted the picture. So
Is it
um,
because you don't want to like create drama or you don't want people to like blow it up or like read into it things that maybe you don't want them to?
okay.
I
Well,
don't know. Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's no
well,
wrong
look,
answer.
look, look. I don't want to paint a picture. I
Yeah.
want it happened. I'm doing my own show. I'm very happy doing my own show. I'm very much a host. I'm not a guest. I'm very. I like being on stage. I was a musician for a long time. I played many different places in New York. I like being on stage. I like being the center of attention.
Yeah, you're a great host. Are you a
Thank
Leo
you.
perchance? What's your
No, I'm
birthday?
actually a Pisces. My birthday's in like 3 days.
Oh, wow.
4 days.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 days actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're a
I'm pretty
great
excited.
host. I
Thank
love
you.
your
Thank you.
videos. I love that you're funny. You're so brutally honest. Like I just watched your one about Cuomo, which I always
Oh
love because I'm
gosh.
from New York, and I'm just like, this
Ugh.
guy is
The name of
such
the
a
episode was Ugh.
jackass.
Ugh,
Yeah, yeah.
Cuomo.
Ugh, Cuomo. And I'm like, you're so good. Like you're very concise
Thank you.
and you're funny and you have a great voice. So yeah, of course you should be like, the host of your own show. And I hope that does happen. Who knows? Right. Who knows what the hell is going to happen in the future.
Right?
And I
Who knows?
do believe everything happens for a reason. Like I recently had, I wouldn't even call him a co-host. He was like the announcer. I had my show on Compound Media. It's called The Wet Spot. I'm still
Right.
doing it.
Okay.
And so my announcer like quit, and I was never gonna fire him. It's just that yeah, there were some things that could have been fixed. Like yeah, he would miss it's a every Monday show. He would miss like one show every month, like basically from July to December. I'd be like, okay, about once a month he's missing one show. Like this is not ideal. But I was never gonna like fire him. I'm not like the firing type. But then like it's just I kind of like came to the surface that like I feel like at the end of the day he really wanted to like do his own thing. And it's like, yeah, I just although it was bad the way it went down, there was like a little bit of drama. The fans were like, oh no, what's going on? But it's like, you know, I try not to have like a grudge, and it's like, yeah, I do feel like everything happens for a reason or whatever. But I mean,
Yeah.
he did kind of like lie a couple times about having COVID, but like whatever, water under the bridge, you know?
No, that's a good attitude though. I mean, I think that's part of the issue with a lot of people today is that they're so focused on what has happened, things that they won't let go, they hold grudges, they dwell. instead of the inverse, which is it's water under the bridge, let's move forward. Things happen for a reason, and the reason is what's going to happen, or what I mean. It's like that's an outlook on the future instead of looking at the past and dwelling on that, which that's what people do. And it's like, stop
Yeah.
complaining about the past. What are you going to do about it? How are
What's
you going to
next,
shift?
right?
Yeah, what's next? Let's move forward. A lot of people want to know what's going on there, and it's like, look, it happened. It happened.
Mhm.
I'm no longer on that show, but now I'm doing my own show. Now you have me 100%, and I'm
You
bringing
get all this.
you
Yeah.
get 100% of this.
You get the whole catalog. Yeah. You get the front
Exactly.
page and the back page. Yeah. I hated on Twitter seeing fans saying like, oh, Chrissie, how could you fire him? He's so funny. And it's just like people, and I'm so used to fans like getting it twisted, but it like I'm gonna pretend I don't have feelings, but yeah, of course it hurt to see people think that like I was like the villain here or whatever. And I'm like, what? I think it will take him like doing his own show to like appreciate what goes into it. And the sad thing is, at the end of the day, it was so weird. He like definitely quit out of anger over text, and I was like, okay, you're done. Like at that point, like you quit. I'm not gonna pretend you didn't say what you said. And then he sort of sent me like a list of demands, and I'm like, in what world does somebody quit and then send demands? I'm like, no, like.
That's funny.
Like, but I could tell, like, but I just like it's, what I mean? It's like breaking up. Oh, like we're done, and then it's like if you take somebody back after that, well then I kind of feel like the sad person. I don't know. I think everyone's got their own creative journey, and like everyone hates the ending of things too. Like Dave Landau just left the Anthony Cumia show, and he's going out to be with I make this sound like a relationship, but he's joining Louder with Crowder, and cool. The fans are kind of exploding over it. People don't like how it went down, and it's like in these circumstances, like it's always going to be a little bit messy. I think when somebody moves on, like there's no perfect way to do it. And it's also like, yeah, you work with somebody a year, 2 years, whatever. I just don't think like just because you have something great with someone doesn't mean that should or will last forever. And I don't know, maybe that's because I kind of like change and welcome change. And I'm like you, I'm always like, okay, like what's next? Even when bad shit happens, it's like, okay, where's the opportunity here?
Yeah, change is inevitable. People are afraid of change, and that's also an issue. People like it comfortable. And that's kind of if you take a step back and look at society as a whole, well, of course, American society, I guess I should say, because that's really what where we.
It's the only society that matters. No. My one listener in Turkey is going to turn off right now. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's man. What was I going to say that just caught me off guard?
Fuck. I always do this. It's.
No, people don't American like culture. People don't like change. Yeah, American culture. People are so comfortable. This society has left us so comfortable. And you look at the history of humanity as a whole. Like, look at all of humanity. The most striving forward happens when people aren't comfortable, where they're like, we need to make change so that we're comfortable because life sucks. Like, how can we make life suck less? Now we have medicines for almost all diseases. Where we've got comfortable. Well, a lot of people let's just say more people have been risen out of poverty in the past 15 years than all of history. That is a fact.
You don't hear that enough.
History. I know. Mm-hmm. And that's something people don't talk about. They're like, well, but the poverty rates and homelessness. And it's like, yeah, I know it sucks, but you still have to, let's look at some of the positives and recognize that, people are now, because of all this, people are still selfish. Society teaches us to be me. Well, what about me? And it's like, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. Get your house, get your fancy car, get your fancy clothes and live your fancy lives, but if we had more of, what history was working together as a community.
Mm-hmm. Hard work was valued, glorified.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. People weren't afraid of hard work. People weren't afraid of like, oh, I'm not going to get this thing right away. I always like laugh when people like, look at everything our grandfathers and ancestors were able to accomplish without like having porn in their pockets, without being able to see tits all the time. And I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe there is something to that. I think that's because lately I'm talking to a lot more like conservative anti-porn people, and I'm like,
Okay.
I do see a point there, I guess. Like I don't have a penis, not yet, but I can understand like it's just a distraction in your pants all the time.
Well, I mean, but everyone see, that's the thing that also I think people don't realize. There's billions of us, right? Billions. And we're all so different. Every single person is different. Every single person handles porn differently, handles social relationships differently, handles what the internet, how it affects them differently, how they get triggered on the internet differently. It's like everyone seems to put their own their own perspective and just smear it on everyone. Like they must feel the same as me, and no one there's such a lack of empathy in that sense, where we don't recognize that everyone is so different and the needs of everyone is so drastically different that we can't have just one answer. There is no one answer for anything. It gets really complicated after that way.
Yeah, I'm always looking for examples of exactly what you said. Like just, and that's part of being a Pisces is you're super all like water signs. You're very empathetic. You're very good at naturally feeling other people, putting yourself, feeling them up. No, not in the Cuomo way, but in the like you can put yourself in somebody else's shoes and like understand what they're going through. And everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses. But I remember like a big moment for me at like spring break. I think I went to one of my college roommates, her parents' house in Austin, Texas, and I just watched her parents. Like they're still like my parents were still married too at the time. Like they were always married, but like watching her parents be like affectionate and nice to one another, I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, how is this? What's going on? I'm like, they're not being condescending to each other. They're not being passive aggressive. They're not like shooting each other down. They're not like fighting about money. They're not like someone's not leaving the room and then disappearing for hours. I was like, it was like the first example I saw of like, because my parents are just like, and I also grew up watching Married with Children, and my mom and dad were very much like, I just never saw a healthy example. So to see that, it was like, what the fuck is this?
This
And
is
so
what life could be.
Yeah, you just never know who somebody was raised by, what their values are, what their experiences are.
Yep.
And people always like to, well, stereotypes, you can't, even in comedy, you can't use stereotypes. And it's like, man, stereotypes are real. Like my dad growing up, he was a landscaper, and he happened to have experience after experience where like some doctor wouldn't pay him everything he was owed. Like some Jewish guy wouldn't pay him. Like he wasn't making this up. He was like, yeah, I just had these bad experiences, and that's what formed my opinions. Like for him to, if he were to come on and talk about them now, you'd be like, oh, he's racist or he's not woke or whatever. It's like, well, this is his life. These were his experiences. So yeah, I don't know why I brought that up. I'm just saying like, all right.
I mean, this is that's what I was kind of saying. Like everything has, the answer is so multifaceted, and the problem is even more multifaceted. It's like a million gears that are all working in unison, and that's society. And it's like, okay, well, how do we fix this one gear? How do you fix that one gear?
It's like a Rubik's Cube. Yeah.
You don't fix that one gear. You have to slowly like rebuild the like that. You can't even do that. It's like it's an impossible task. So, but even stereotypes, they may be right, but even if they're right, they're also wrong.
Right.
And I don't think people recognize that either. It's like, okay, for every, this is what I say a lot on my show. It's like literally anyone could be an asshole. Anyone. I could be an asshole. You could be an asshole. Every single person in the planet could be an asshole to somebody. Also, at the same point, every single person can love somebody. Everyone can be very nice to somebody, and it all depends on the environment, the person, the who they're meeting. Like anyone could be evil, anyone could be good, and we have to let go of this. If you don't believe what I believe, you're evil, and that is like they are stopping us from moving forward. The people that push that.
Absolutely. Like I was on the train the other day, Metro North, like going into the city, and I wasn't wearing a mask because I just don't like to. Oh God. And the train conductor, and normally the train conductors like don't give a fuck and they're chill. And I just like maybe I'll put my coat up or maybe I'll just like turn around or whatever. But I just he was just extra cunty about a mask. And he was like, you don't have to ride the train. And I'm thinking like the sassy part of me is like, you don't have to be a train conductor if you don't know how to talk to people. And I was thinking like, how do I kind of like have a sassy response? And then I'm thinking, this is probably the only place in his life he feels power. He probably feels like a big man when he yells at me. Like, just let him have this, Chrissy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And it's funny. I found like most of the mask shamers in my life have been young men, like young men in their 20s, it seems.
Really?
And I'm just like, oh, it makes me so sad for like the
All I
future of
see is,
men.
I want to be alpha.
Yeah. It's a quick and easy way for you to feel powerful. And I think that's why a lot of people are really they don't want the mask mandates to end, because that person who works at Target or whatever, like they're like, no, let me have this.
There's a Babylon Bee. Hold on, I gotta pull it up because I just want to read this. It's so funny. So Babylon Bee, shout out to Babylon Bee because they are incredible.
They're great.
They wrote this. Where is it? Texas removes mask mandate to scare all the Californians away.
I mean, that's so perfect. Yeah.
And it's actually working. Like they make a joke, but people are freaking out. Like they're saying like, I just left California for Texas and I regret it. I miss California.
Oh God,
I think I'm going back. And they're going back. And it's like Texans are like, yes.
Yeah. Go back to California. We'll take a saw. We'll saw the whole thing off, float you guys into the ocean. Have a good life. I would love to see that.
Go hang out with Hawaii. Have a good time. Hawaiian's like, no, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
Stay over there.
Yeah. I was actually just, an article came out today with, I think I was in it, the Babylon Bee was in it. It was like all examples of like, they said like conservative comedians, but really it's like anybody who's not like a gross psycho leftist, like examples of censorship. Yeah, non-narrative
comedians,
not state approved. Yeah, it was on real clear politics. And so yeah, you guys check that article out. And I was in it because I had a video that I put out in March, and it was after Gal Gadot did her, like, it was a bunch of different celebrities singing Imagine.
Oh,
and it was just there. And I was like, this is horrible. Like, no, this is not, no one's benefiting from this. Like, you don't give a shit about us. Number one. Number two, like, stop. And then so me and my comedian friends, we each sang a line of like Kung Fu Fighting, except we said like Kung Flu or whatever. And it was ultimately taken down from Instagram for hate speech. And it just showed me how dumb people are. People in my messages and comments like, how dare you write such a racist song? I was like, oh my God, I did not write this song. Like, it wasn't all that clever. It was really more to just like poke fun at the idea that, like, yeah, celebrities are reaching down to help the poor peasants.
Getting killed.
Yeah, but we're fighting. We're fighting the good fight, and I think that the good guys are winning. I saw this article in the Washington Post that mentioned you on February 15th. It was, this made me so disgusted because they alluded somehow to the idea that you talk about these more serious. They're like, oh, he used to talk about aliens and skateboarding, and now he talks about the voter snafus.
Now he only talks about.
And they're somehow like alluding to the fact that you only do this for a bigger audience. Yeah, now he mentions that's my favorite sentence was that like the Democrats somehow stole the election. I'm like, oh, yes, somehow.
They admitted it.
Yeah.
They came out and said, yeah, we fortified it.
And they're just saying, oh, you're just doing this to get, and I've gotten this too. Like people, oh, you're a grifter, you're just doing this. I've had like kind of friends that I've had for years call me a conservative shill, and I'm like, wow, great. I'll remember that. Sure. And it's in so I wonder how you feel about that. The fact that that's the powers that be are saying, oh, you're just doing this for attention, for a bigger audience. And they also, this is what I think is so disgusting. They equate like whatever legacy media. We all know what we mean when we say they, but they're equating the search for the truth as extremism or conspiracy theories. And it's like, yet they would never call BLM an extremist group. And look at what they did all summer. It's like the hypocrisy it blows me away every day.
So they interviewed me actually, and I knew that they were going to do what they did. So it was kind of a test, honestly, to see
Hmm.
how far they would skew it. Now they went on to say, like, in that article, they were like, he started, like, Adam didn't have any followers, then started talking about the election and how it was stolen, and then his show blew up, and it's like,
You
what?
had no followers.
Like,
Wow. Sick
I
burn.
had my
Yeah.
followers after the Timcast IRL fallout, and then I didn't gain anything throughout the entire election. And then now that it's over, now I'm starting to grow again. So it's like I actually didn't have any growth at all. I actually lost subscribers throughout the election process of me talking about it. So I mean, that thing is riddled with lies. And to say that I'm some sort of extremist when I talk about how violence is terrible, like, if as soon as you go violent, your message is gone. That's
Yep.
something Martin Luther King taught everybody. It's like that's why he wasn't violent at all. He would do mass sit-ins, and as soon as people go violent, that's the only thing the news reports on. I was angry at the people that went inside the Capitol. I thought that was shitty of them because they ruined the chance of the Republican senators that was going to present evidence of
Ugh.
voter fraud. By them going in there, they actually ruined any chance of them doing that. Because so I was looking forward to having them present the evidence. I'm like, good. They're going to present the evidence. This is fine. Finally, at least the public eye will see it. And then the whole Capitol thing happened, and they're like, well, now now that that's happened, like we can't do this because people will be even more violent, and it's just like, you guys fucked up the chances of even having some of the evidence. None of the evidence has shown in court yet, right?
It's
It's
like
ridiculous.
all too perfect. It's like almost like how convenient, like the
Yeah.
whoever it was broke in at just the right time. And I was there on the 6th, and I talked to other like sort of independent journalists. I mean, I was there mostly to get like cover it generally for my
Yeah.
fans, but like get kooky interviews and take pictures and hang out and have fun. But like some of my other friends that are like more independent journalists, they're like, yeah, we saw like a couple of rogue looking people, like somebody with a sledgehammer, somebody with a wire cutters. It's like normal people don't bring those items to a regular protest. And then as
Hmm.
far as the eye can see, everybody's walking up to the building. Like we didn't even know that people were breaking in until we were on our way back to the hotel. And it was just kind of like a day in the park. Everyone's walking around with their signs, their
Yeah.
costumes, their dogs. It was like chill and fun
Yeah.
and
Chill.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then now we're fine. Well, I just want to look. So for everyone who can see this, it says now he devotes much of his talk show to his assertion that mask mandates are an assault on personal freedom. I have never said that. I
Wow,
don't
that's
I don't
bold.
talk about masks like that. He threw that out, and then somehow the Democrats stole the election from Donald Trump. Result, a much bigger audience. I had my audience before that. You fucking dick. This guy, like,
Mark
dude,
Fisher, you're a
dude,
cuck.
Mark Fisher, you fucking grifter, man. You leftist extremist. You're the extremist, sir. I am not the extremist. I have an article here that's from the FBI that's finally come out and said actually there was no firearms recovered, no shots fired by
I
rioters.
saw that.
It's just kind of like, yeah, all right, well, we're gonna walk back that anyone was actually in harm's way, and it's like, and AOC lied, she wasn't even in the building. It's like all this stuff. It's just, and every single article you read about literally anything, they figure out a way to slip in the insurgency on the 6th.
It wasn't. It
Seriously,
was
it's in every
chill.
fucking article that I read. It's like, why are they even putting this in here now? They're
Yeah.
just trying to maintain this fear, like
Trying to trigger people. They
trigger
obviously know
emotion.
like most people weren't there. Most people don't have like a friend who was there.
Yep.
A lot of people don't think to look outside like legacy media. So like if we can keep saying like yeah, insurgents or whatever, and
Yep.
it's like man, like you just don't know. Like
Hmm.
it was a few people. If we're gonna call this oh god, this was a like whatever insurgents, but you're gonna call like the BLM protests like oh it's peaceful. And I know
Yeah.
like I feel like so
Well,
many
it
of us
was
have
the
made these
Capitol
points.
building,
Yeah.
Chrissy. It was the
No.
Capitol building, though. Okay, well, what about the person that bombed the Capitol building that Obama released? Or
Yeah.
the Black Panthers that stormed the Capitol fully armed.
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know?
if it's
And
on the left, it's called participating in democracy. But
yeah,
if
it's like,
you're not on the left, you're a
what?
vicious criminal.
It's so ridiculous, you know? And then the fact that they found that there was a BLM guy in there, Antifa was in
Mm-hmm.
there. They've proven it. So
Yeah.
literally there was every group that stormed inside. And then of
Yeah.
course, not to mention the stoners and like the old woman that was like,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm here too.
People are
Ah,
like,
this
"Oh yeah,
is
it's like
fun."
Disney World. Like I can go in, cool. Like let's go look at stuff."
Yeah,
All
the
the
people
clips
that went
show
in there,
people
man.
walking in real chill and and nobody like, come on, man. If these people wanted to bring guns, they would have. They have
Yeah,
all the
and they didn't.
guns, and they didn't. No one had anything, and it's like there was no even whisper of anybody doing that. And I know a lot of
There
people,
is.
so
There's one whisper. All right. They arrested one guy who had a van that had some guns in it that was parked a couple blocks away, and they're like,
mm,
well, no reasonable person needed all those guns, and he very well could have was trying to hand them out. It's like, okay, so you're making assumptions and saying this one person that had a van full of guns. Okay, van full of guns in DC. What is this guy doing? Like, all
yeah,
right, I admit that guy like, what is that guy doing with guns?
yeah, van
You
full of
know?
guns. That's a red flag.
Yeah, red flag. I'm okay with you checking that dude. Like,
Yes, of
it's not like
course.
I have anything against that. Like, but look at what happened though, and
Mm-hmm.
who was actually in there. A bunch of pot smokers, a bunch of instigators from Black Lives Matter. In fact, Ashley Bobbitt got killed because that guy was instigating in that hallway. It was his fault.
Wow.
He was recording it. He was on CNN that
Yep.
night.
They paid him for an interview that night.
Yeah, he
The
made
fir-
40 grand on those
Whew.
videos.
Damn. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Does that guy have any remorse? Probably not.
No, definitely not.
He's a secret agent.
And
If
that reminds me, there was an FBI agent that was inside. It's like,
wow.
it's ridiculous. If that wasn't an
If
op, I don't
something
know what is.
seems, yeah, if it seems too perfect, too good, too well coordinated, it
Yeah,
probably is. You know,
yeah.
everyone listening to this is really smart and has common sense, and it's like, if it seems like it was a false flag, you're probably right.
I
And then when I have regular people be like, "Oh, you were there? You were there on January 6th?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was fun. Like it was chill. It was like not this big violent thing because no one shows the peaceful, chill footage." And the fact that there was like thousands of people there, no litter, nobody littered, a lot of cute dogs, a lot of kids.
there was litter. I don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Well,
Not where I
so
was.
where did you watch Trump speak?
Yes.
So where Trump spoke, because I had my board with me, I skated back to my car and filled the meter. I was on a metered
You
parking.
filled your van with guns. Got
I,
it.
yeah, no, I put money in the meter, and then I
Mhm.
went back to the Capitol building, and I was just watching because I didn't actually know people were inside until I don't remember. Someone said something, and I was like, they're inside, like that's
Mhm.
nuts.
Mhm.
And then because as you said, it's like it seemed peaceful. Everyone was just kind of like standing there, hanging out. I saw kids. It was
It's like
like,
Woodstock. People like playing
yeah,
music,
that's what
laying
it
on the
felt like.
lawn,
You
eating,
know,
having picnics and stuff.
yeah, because the crazy clash that happened was during Trump's speech. Like people
Hmm.
don't recognize the fact that people were there to listen to Trump speak. The people over there clashing with the police, they didn't care about Trump. They weren't Trump supporters because Trump
Wow.
supporters were there to listen to the man,
Yeah.
So they all went, and when I was on my way back to the Capitol, everyone was already walking over there, and there was trash everywhere. But
Man,
what are you
maybe
gonna
that
do?
was towards the end of the day and people getting tired. I don't know.
Yeah.
I tried to pick some up.
Trash on the ground, that makes me sad.
It does.
Everywhere. I
It
see it
does.
everywhere. It's I mean, that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh yeah. I'm about to get a custom made like stick with a point at the end of it and just go around and
Nice, nice.
pick it up. How do you think working with Tim influenced your style, influenced, the way you
Well,
think about things?
well, I influenced me a lot. I learned how to YouTube from him. He taught me how to use OBS, taught me how to, you know, that's his camera that I'm looking into right now. He's given me a lot. People like to give us they like to make up stories and
Hmm.
paint the picture and what they think. It's like and they tried to see this is one thing that bugged me. It's they were angry at me for
Hmm.
leaving. I what I can say I got fired. All right. I didn't want to leave the show. That's all I'm gonna say. But I still owe him a lot. I still give him the respect that is owed. Like I owe a lot to him because he did teach me how to YouTube. I do have a significant audience, and I just started less than a year ago, my own show. Less than 7 months, and I have
Wow.
180,000 subs. Like, that's incredible. So, like, I would not have the audience I have if it wasn't for Tim. And I've said it multiple times how grateful I am for him, but I'm not gonna say it every episode. I'm not gonna say it all the time. Like, there's only so much I could say
Of
before it's like,
course.
all right, the point is done. Now I don't need to say it anymore. And that's something that frustrated me with the way that things happened. Is they said that um I say they because it's just the Timcast IRL team made a post that said, we're not going to air anyone's dirty laundry, but Adam like has dirty laundry. And it's like, dude, it wasn't me. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Hmm.
why are you going to make it seem like it was my, like, I left? They made me the bad guy, and that's fucking bullshit, and it pissed me off. And that's like the one thing about the whole situation that really irks me. It's like, dude, like, I have nothing but like respect for you. Like, you helped me
Yeah.
grow. Like, I give you respect after the fact. They don't talk about me at all because it's probably because I still see no Adam, no peace in their chat. And it's like,
What?
because people miss me, man. It's like,
Okay, okay. That's like a catchphrase. Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
no
yeah, yeah.
Adam, no peace,
Right.
because
Oh,
they miss me on that show. And it's like, because I treated it as if it was my show. I didn't treat it as though it was Tim's show that I was on. And that's the way we talked about it being, that it was both of our show.
you put your full
So,
self into it.
and maybe
Yeah.
maybe that was part of the issue. But I owe a lot to Tim, though, and I try to give him his due. So I don't know. Some people will never be satisfied, and
Yeah.
I just don't talk about them anymore. I don't deal with that. So,
Endings
but
are hard, and then yeah, people. I've been seeing so many people like just shit on Dave Landau now, and it's like nobody knows the inside workings of how these things go down.
mhm.
Also, nothing is forever. Also, it's like, yeah, you're so grateful of like, why just focus on the end, like, the middle, the beginning, like the great stuff you learned,
Yeah,
the way what he got from working with you, and also like, yes, you did get a lot of subscribers right away, but if you sucked, you would be losing them. Like the fact that you're maintaining them just
true.
speaks to how great you are,
Thank
and
you. Thank you.
the fact that you were an Abercrombie model doesn't hurt.
I don't think that really is it. I mean, Abercrombie is cool and all, but the biggest job that I am grateful for is the Chanel cologne campaign that I
You
did.
were not Chanel.
Yeah, no joke. They didn't even hire me as a model, although it helped. But they hired me as a skateboarder. And they
What?
flew me to South Africa
What?
for a week to skate on this incredible mountain as a downhill skater, and I got to spend a week in South Africa. They flew me first class down to South Africa. It was, I flew to London first class from London to South Africa, and I had like my own suite in Cape Town. It was amazing. It was amazing. Just type Adam Crigler Chanel, and I'm sure it'll
I'm
pop up.
trying. Oh, okay, okay. This looks really cool. I don't know any skateboarders, so this whole
All
world
right.
is thrilling to me.
Yeah, it was
Um,
incredible. I got hired for me. That's what the coolest
oh,
thing is.
that's the best.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah,
I
that's
think
it.
this is
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
We're
So
gonna.
I actually so they had a professional skateboarder come, a downhill skateboarder. He was a really cool dude, and he was basically my stunt double. I did skate the hill, but we only had 3 days on this hill, so they used me
This
for
is
a lot.
you.
This is probably him on
What?
that shot. I did skate down the hill. So some of these you don't know which is which. There's a couple helicopter runs where we would switch off. Like, he would go, the helicopter would follow him, then it would come back and then follow me down, and then we would get driven back up. And we did. So it's like we both did the runs, but we only had 3 days to get the shots, and because
Whoa.
they needed to shoot me without a helmet, like standing and stuff. It wasn't all me, but it's I'm not Not gonna
That's
hide
really
that.
cool. How fast were you going? Like how many miles per hour?
Um, I think that might have been me, that slide through the water. Um,
Oh, this is it again. Oh, is that you?
that's me. That's my back. There's me.
Ooh.
Short-haired me.
I feel like you should be wearing a cape.
Maybe.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you know how fast you were going?
That was, I mean, that hill was, it was fast. It was probably like
Ooh,
40
sensuous.
miles an hour. Look
Adam
into my
Cass.
eyes. Look into my eyes.
Now you're
Smell
getting
my
wet.
cologne.
If
Hello, hello,
if you
Ramsma.
are damp, it is because of me.
Honestly, though,
That's
the
great.
crew on that job was so cool. Like they were awesome. So going down there, because it was kind of like a vacation. I got to go. There was a pool. There was a massage parlor. It was like the top hotel in Cape Town.
Wow.
It was the Nelson Mandela Hotel. Like it was. I think that's the name of it actually. But it was the top of the top, and I had my own driver. Like
Ugh.
anytime I wanted to go anywhere, his name was Gil. He was awesome,
Shout out to
and
Gil.
yeah, he was, dude. It was so cool, man. I had such a cool time, and everyone was so awesome. So yeah,
Did
that
the
was
other skateboarder guy look a lot like you?
no, maybe no, I don't know, not really, but he he had the full outfit on, so it was just to get the skate shots. So it was cool. I had a stunt double. I
Wow.
had a stunt double.
That is really exciting.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'm getting the sense from you that you're like sometimes like yeah, you're not it's like you're a totally different person. Like the you here and then like the model you and it's almost like in your day-to-day you sort of like hide your modeliness. You know what I mean? Because this was like recent. What was this like last year? Not even
That was 3 years ago,
3 years
four,
ago.
maybe 4 years ago now,
Is it a
something like
thing
that.
that makes it like when people point out that you were a model, you get a little uncomfortable? You're like, oh, come on, guys.
No,
Like, I want to be
no.
loved from my brain.
The thing about modeling was I just never was a model. Like, yeah, I modeled, but it never became my persona. Like I would never introduce myself as a model. I still would. That's just not who I am. I was always a musician and a
Yeah.
skateboarder. When I was modeling full time, I was also playing music full time, and I would have a show every month. I would do sometimes twice a month. I was doing CBGBs in New York. You're a New
Wow.
Yorker, you know CBGBs. I actually played there the night before they closed.
Oh, that's awesome. I never
So
set foot in there. And I remember I was like, I'd walk
shame,
past it all the
shame.
time. I walk past it all the
Too
time,
late
never
now.
went in. And that's like one of my biggest regrets.
So yeah, I loved music. I was always, hey, I'm a musician, and they're like,
Yeah.
and then they would find out later from someone else that I modeled, and they're like, wait, you modeled? And as soon as
Like,
people hear
yes, I'm
that
a
you
triple
model,
threat.
they
Shell.
like that stereotype just like slams it in, like,
Totally.
oh well, now I'm gonna stereotype you, like, lest they find out that I'm also vegan. Oh my
Oh
gosh,
God.
and it's like I just don't care. Like these are things that are for me. Like I don't, like veganism. Like I'm not trying to project. I'm not trying to convert anyone. Like I just do it
Hmm.
for me. Like,
That's
look, I don't
great.
care that you eat meat. As soon as people find out I'm vegan, they feel the need to like inform me that how much they love eating meat, and I'm like, I don't fucking give a shit. Like, cool.
That's like meeting a gay guy and then you're like, I
Congrats.
just love pussy. You're like, you're
Yes.
fine, chill. Like
Thanks.
nobody's yeah.
All right. But the modeling thing was just, I don't like the stereotypes that people just, as soon as they hear that, it's also the same. It's like they feel the need to like quote Zoolander or say some stupid
I was
shit that
holding back a Zoolander quote. Good. I'm glad I held it
I
back.
see. I knew it was in there. Right. It's just people, it just happens. And it's
Have
like,
you I have to
go ahead.
ask, have you ever had the urge to kill the Malaysian Prime Minister?
No, but I've never been in his presence. So now the thing with modeling though is I've met so many models. I used to live in a model apartment in New York, and I have had 11, 12 roommates at one time. Like it was a huge house. It wasn't think model apartment, but that's just what people call them.
Huge house, no food. I'm
It
getting
was
the picture. Yeah.
no no food. We had to fight over scraps. No,
Toilets
but
constantly full of puke. Yeah.
yeah, I basically compare it to high school. You think about what high school is like, and how there's the jocks, the goths, the funny guys, the nerds, all different types of people, right? That's how it is with modeling. There's literally modeling is a look. It's what your face looks like, not who your personality is. And people think that because of Zoolander, because of like the classic stereotypical model
That's all you
ish,
can
they
bring
don't.
to the table.
Yeah, that's what all models are, when they don't realize that there's literally models of all different types of personalities. And that's why I don't talk about it, because the stereotypes are real.
I was a
And
foot model. I don't really
they're also
talk
wrong.
about it. I
Really?
do talk about it. I talk about it all the time.
You?
It was so unglamorous.
How long were you waiting to bring that into the conversation?
No, that's why people are gonna pause it. It was a job I found on Craig's. It was wait, I have a page on WikiFeet. I've mentioned this on other shows.
You have a page on WikiFeet?
Yeah, somebody else put it up there. It's like the foot people, they are a passionate community of
I don't
pervs.
understand that. I don't get it.
I got the job on Craigslist. It was really unglamorous. It was like $50 an hour, and maybe they'd use me. They'd use me 15, 20 minutes at a time though. So like the boxes would come in from like Spain or Brazil or whatever, boxes full of shoes, and I just try them on, I give them notes, and then I leave. And it was like, that was it. But I just was like, I really needed a job. It was like a second or third
you were
job.
actually modeling shoes and stuff.
Yeah, I was like a fit model. I was
like,
not like walking the runway. I was not like feet in a catalog or something. It was very
close up.
She would take pictures of my feet in the shoes, but then send them to, the fucking underpaid factory workers, I guess, to be like, oh, we got to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
This is just like a model show. This is it's nice to talk to another model finally.
Good for you.
I just feel like, I would go to clubs in New York City and be like, hey, I'm a foot model, and they wouldn't let me in. And, we all have our struggles.
So like, we only let models that model above the waist.
Yeah.
Not below the waist. Sorry.
Like, wow. Where can people, and by people I mean me, find your music? Like, is it are you in a band? Are you a solo?
I'm solo. I sing and play guitar. Honestly, the best place to hear my music is to watch my show on Fridays. Friday shows, I tend to just kind of do some subjects. I do some super chats, and then I do like an hour set. I jam a bunch of songs.
Cool.
I look at the comments, like what do you want to hear next? People are starting to get familiar with the different songs that I have. And
do you take requests?
Friday, yeah, I do, but only for my own songs, because copyright issues.
Tina Turner, Proud Mary, come on.
I know that song.
Yeah. Oh wow.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't. Yeah, sorry. No. Yeah, but I really need to record my music, because people keep asking for it, and I spend all my day researching, reading news, trying to figure out what to do about
it's a big job.
my live show.
Yeah.
Doing a live show every day it's
exhausting.
It's exhausting. It's tiring, having the know-how and to be able to speak and like put yourself out there every day it's not what I expected I was going to be doing. And I don't know if I want to continue doing it. I like being on stage, but I don't want to talk about politics, and I find myself having to do it because that's what's going on. And I feel like, because I think people need to know about it and have to be part of the conversation, that I'm kind of forcing myself to do it too. It's like, you got to, practice what you preach kind of vibe. And, I feel like more people need to do it. So it's kind of like a duty now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So how many days a week are you talking about politics about?
Every day.
Every day.
Well,
could you start with doing 4 days of that, and then one day is just stuff for you, stuff that you really want to talk about?
I mean, so I don't know. Did you watch the show last night, or did you just watch the clip about Cuomo?
I think I definitely watched the whole clip.
So,
I watched the show. I watched the show. Yeah.
So I do. It's like, I don't do all politics. So like, I complained about Cuomo, which was very easy to do. Then I complained about Biden, also easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost fun to snap at those two, and I snapped at the other governors that killed people too. But then I talked about space for a while, for like a half hour, and that was awesome because I love space. I talked about SN10 that actually sadly blew up yesterday, but it landed successfully. I don't know if you follow the SpaceX new Starship that he's
I
working on,
don't.
but it's really cool. They had another test yesterday where it successfully took off and then successfully, I don't want to say successfully landed, but it landed and
It
didn't blow
landed.
up
It was good enough.
and
Yeah.
then blew up. So
Okay.
it's an improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's making improvements, and it was cool to see. It was very exciting. So I got to talk about that tonight. Actually, on my show, I have an alien tech scientist coming on my show.
Ooh.
So no politics today. Today I don't. It's kind of perfect that we can kind of have a fun interview today because I don't have to do a lot of research because I have a guest on who's an expert in his field. So I'm gonna basically just dig in his
Just sit
brain
there.
about like alien tech that he knows, the future of
Wow,
space
that's
propulsion.
cool.
Yeah, a lot of cool. That's something that I love that stuff. So I'm really excited about
Yeah.
that. So
So
it's
it's
a
like
little bit of a
just
break.
doing more of that is going to make you feel like, okay, you have enough that you love that like the days that feel like work are not going to bog you down. I feel like all of us are doing a combination of like your strengths, what you're called to do, and then what you love to do. And you have
Yeah.
to just make sure all of that is in balance. Cause like, I
Yeah.
have like, it's like so funny too. Like I order all these books, like Ascension
Oh, yeah. Show
Mysteries,
your books.
raw
Hold on.
material.
Show the books.
No,
Come
no,
on.
come
Show the books.
on. God damn it. A lot of these like, but then it's like, well, I don't have time to read, you know, about like aliens and Bringers of the Dawn
Is that a
and
koala?
that's a koala.
Little bear.
Yeah,
You got
I
a
have a
bunch
lot
of.
of well, I was told that stuffed animals absorb sound, and I just got Jordan
Oh,
Peterson's new book.
oh, I got it too. I'm
Yes,
excited.
I got it yesterday. And
I
then
don't know
of
where
course,
mine is.
shout out to the
Oh, there it is.
Compound Media sticker. COVID is a fluid, the better publicist.
I like that.
Great sticker.
Was that a llama?
It's a sheep.
Oh, a sheep. Okay. Cool.
But yeah, so I don't know. I do feel torn. Like, wow, there's all these books I want to read for fun.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't need to know about aliens to do my podcast, but I would like love to spend more time reading about them. So I understand that, like you feeling tugged, you're like, but this is the politics stuff is like right here. Got to
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about it. People,
And
people
it's just
need.
everybody needs to be a part of the conversation. Everybody. If you don't think that you need to be a part of politics, you're wrong.
I was
Period.
that way for my whole life until really like a couple years ago when free speech started to be affected in terms of like comedy. That's when I was like, oh yeah, now I'm in this. But
Yeah.
I'm like embarrassed at how many years I was very checked out of caring about politics.
Don't worry, me too. I was the same way as you. Probably later. I mean, I was class of 2002, so we're, very close in age, and I didn't give a shit about politics until Tim basically forced it on me, like, well, we're going to talk about politics. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then I didn't like being in a conversation with someone who is so politically aware. Like, dude knows his stuff. Like,
Oh
you don't
yeah, me
want
too. I
you
told
don't
something
want
like
to
that. I'm
get in
like,
a
wow, I feel
conversation with
dumb.
Tim.
I'm just gonna go to the bathroom and keep talking.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
go back.
exactly. So, I had to at least have a base knowledge, and then the more I understood, the more I realized how clutch it was to just be knowledgeable about it and vote.
Yeah.
Like, people don't understand that it's not about voting for the president. It's about voting for literally everyone on the local
Hmm.
level all the way up. You got to know who's a part of any decision making because they're changing our rights that are
Ugh.
already our rights. Like, there are rights. Like, we're born with these rights, and they're basically saying, well, we get to decide. Oh, who the fuck are you?
And they want us to be sleepy and not care and distracted by
Right.
Instagram and looking at tits all day instead
Mhm.
of like, look at what they're doing.
It's funny, but it's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We
it's
see
also
you.
sad.
We're
Yeah.
wising up. We can, you can look at tits and be involved. It's possible
Right.
to do
There's
both.
nothing
Just don't
wrong with
spend
that.
all day.
Tits are
Yeah.
great, but pay attention.
Give yourself 10 minutes of tits after you spend an hour reading up about the local representatives. The pandemic, without the pandemic, I would not have known so many names of governors all over the country. So that's
True.
been a huge plus.
True. That's a good point.
Always a silver lining. Adam, thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming on. Where can people
It was a
find you,
pleasure.
follow you, support you, other than checking out your YouTube show, Adamcast IRL, and following you on Twitter at Adam Crigler?
Sure. I mean, I'm also a gamer, as you see right there. I'm a gamer.
Yes.
I have a Twitch channel that after my show, I go live on Twitch and I play random games. Currently, I'm playing Valheim. It's a survival Viking game, really fun. I also
Ooh.
play Call of Duty, which is a guilty pleasure. But yeah, you can follow me basically everywhere. Just Adam Crigler. I'm on Minds, locals at Adamcast IRL. Come join my locals channel. It's a really good place to get a hold of me. My Twitter is obviously popping, but I don't. It's hard to get a hold of me on Twitter. Twitter, I use more of a news intake, and I just post stuff. I don't really interact there. Where my locals page, I really try to be a little more interactive with the people that support me. So yeah, just follow my YouTube channel, Adamcast IRL. You can also check out my coffee business. I started my own coffee, Crigler Coffee,
I
delicious
love
coffee.
coffee.
You should check it out. It's delicious. Everyone who's tried it said that it's some of the best beans they've ever had. It's roasted the day you order it, so when you order it, or the next day right before it gets shipped. So it's always fresh and delicious. I have organic blends. I have
Wow.
everything. Check it out, Crigler Coffee. Really, it's just my last name, which is over there, criglercoffee.com. You can check it out, and there's a subscription if you want to save a little bit. Yeah. Thank you for having me on, Chrissy. You're gonna have to come on my show now.
Yes. Do
All
you
right, you gotta
ever
come on mine.
do you start your show? I think you should start your show being like, "What's up, my Criglers?" Like you call your fans your Criglers. Your
Well, my
Criglers.
Discord is called the Adams Family.
Okay. All right.
So
That seems
that's
less problematic. Okay.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Adams Family. I mean, I don't know if it's because of the movie. Dun,
Yes,
dun,
I've
dun,
seen. Yeah, of course.
but
Da-da-da-da.
it's good. I love my Discord also, which is
Ooh,
closed, by the way, so you can't join my Discord. I open it
too
every
late.
so often until because I people just want to cancel people. They want to post
Mm-hmm.
things and then take a picture and be like, "Look what's being posted in there." And when they post it themselves, it's
Just be cool, guys. Come
yeah.
on.
Yeah, my Discord got attacked, I don't know, about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago now. And since then I've just kept it closed down. So you got to just catch it. Sometimes I open it during my show, and it's a rare occurrence now. So the Discord's
Ooh,
kind of an exclusive club
no
to
new
be in.
friends. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for
This was
having me on,
great.
Chrissy.
Adam, thanks for coming on. You're such a blast to talk to. We'll have to
Thank
do
you.
this again sometime.
Definitely.
Everyone follow him, watch his shows, masturbate to his old catalogs. Yay. Bye.